with its floating crystal gardens, the Carrick archive holding holographic scrolls from a telepathic species, and most importantly to Emma, the Thon exhibition displaying relics from a deeply philosophical race renowned for their wisdom and otherworldly technology. Emma wandered along with her classmates as they were guided through the main hall. Her gaze constantly drifted to displays that seemed to hum with alien energy. She absorbed each story and artifact, trying to decipher their significance. Her teachers were strict, keeping the group together and rushing past exhibits as they attempted to cover all the major attractions in one tour. But Emma felt confined, her curiosity pulling her towards the intricate display of the Fawn exhibition, a wing that lay just out of sight around a spiraling corridor. Finally, unable to resist the lure any longer, she slipped away from her group, moving quietly along the shadowed edges of the path until she reached the entrance of the Thon wing. The Thon exhibition was quiet and almost empty. Emma walked slowly, admiring the elegant, nearly ethereal designs of the objects on display. They seemed to radiate a soft silver light, almost as if they were alive. Beautiful artifacts, symbols she didn't understand, and intricate tools she couldn't even imagine the purpose of were encased in a glass-like material, each with a faintly pulsing blue glow. A holographic placard nearby explained that the Thyan, though peaceful, had once been great travelers, explorers who charted the universe and gathered knowledge about every species they encountered. As she wandered deeper into the hall, Emma noticed an old Thon alien standing alone near a display case. His skin was a soft, mossy green with a texture like aged bark. His robes were simple yet elegant, draping loosely over his thin frame. He seemed to be lost in thought, his pale eyes fixed on an ancient-looking object within the case, his hands clasped behind his back. Emma paused, watching him from a respectful distance. She didn't want to intrude, but there was something serene, almost hypnotic, about his presence. Suddenly, the alien stumbled, his hand clutching his chest, and he sank to his knees, gasping for breath. Emma's heart leapt with shock. Without thinking, she dashed forward, instincts kicking in as she dropped down beside him. "Are you okay?" she asked urgently, her voice a mixture of worry and determination. The alien's breathing was labored, his thin fingers trembling as he struggled to breathe. Emma noticed his eyes fluttering as he tried to stay conscious. She had no idea what to do. She had never encountered an alien in distress, let alone one having a medical emergency, but she knew she had to act quickly. "Hold on, I'm here," she whispered, more for her own reassurance than his. Drawing on the emergency training she'd learned in school, Emma remembered the basics, keeping the airways clear, checking for a pulse, and monitoring breathing. But she had no idea if these methods applied to a Thon. Still, she tried. She supported his head, keeping his airway open as best she could, and spoke to him softly, hoping her voice would be soothing. A faint vibration came from her wrist, a communicator embedded into the museum bracelet every visitor wore. She quickly activated it, contacting museum staff and requesting emergency medical assistance. The response was swift, the operator assuring her that medical help was on the way. But watching the old Thon's pained expression, Emma knew every second mattered. The Thon opened his eyes briefly, struggling to focus on her. His gaze held gratitude, and he managed a weak smile. In that moment, Emma noticed a small, pendant-like object dangling from a chain around his neck. It pulsed with a faint glow, a rhythm she recognized now as matching his heartbeat. She guessed it was some kind of life-monitoring device or perhaps a symbol of his people's connection to life itself. Despite her fear, she felt a strange calm as she held him, her hand lightly resting over his to reassure him that he was not alone. Finally, a team of medics arrived, their uniforms adorned with symbols Emma didn't recognize. They worked with swift precision, using unfamiliar tools that emitted soft lights and barely audible hums. She watched anxiously as they stabilized him, injecting him with a pale green substance that immediately seemed to ease his breathing. Within moments, he was sitting up, his strength returning, though he still looked weak. One of the medics turned to her, offering a slight nod of appreciation. "Thank you for your quick response. Without your intervention, he might not have made it." Emma nodded, feeling a mixture of relief and lingering concern. Just as she was about to step away, the Thon elder reached out, his hand trembling as he took her wrist gently. "My child," he said in a voice soft but filled with a deep resonance, "your heart is kind to show compassion to a stranger of another world. It is a rare quality, even in our galaxy." He looked at her with a gentle smile, his eyes warm and wise. "I am Drar, and I owe you my life." Before she could respond, he unfastened the chain around his neck, carefully placing the pendant in her hand. She looked down at it, unsure of what to say or do. "Please, take this," he said, pressing the amulet into her palm. "It is a gift for one whose heart transcends boundaries. This amulet will show you the path, should you choose to walk it." Emma felt the cool weight of the amulet in her hand. hand. It was unlike anything she had ever seen, a crystal-like structure, almost translucent, but with small swirling colors within that shifted with each movement. She wanted to protest, to tell him it was too much, but something in his eyes stopped her. She realized that this was more than just an item. It was a gift of deep significance. As the medics escorted Drar away, he turned once more, nodding to her with gratitude. Emma clutched the amulet to her chest, her mind reeling. The events of the last few minutes felt surreal, and yet the amulet's gentle warmth in her hand was real, grounding her in the moment. She knew that something extraordinary had just happened, though she could hardly imagine the changes it would bring to her life. As the museum's grand hall seemed to echo around her, Emma felt a sense of anticipation brewing inside her, a sense that her life, once so ordinary, was now on the edge of something vast and unknown. Emma wandered the museum, the amulet still clutched tightly in her hand. She tried to rejoin her classmates, but she found herself lost in thought, her mind spinning from her encounter with Drar. She kept glancing down at the amulet, marveling at its intricate, almost hypnotic design. Every time she turned it in her hand, the crystal seemed to shift colors, revealing swirling patterns deep within it. It was as if the amulet was alive, holding in mysteries that called to her in a way she couldn't quite understand. Emma's footsteps echoed softly in the quiet corridors of the Thon exhibition hall. She couldn't shake the feeling that this pendant was more than just a gift. It felt as if it was imbued with an ancient energy, something beyond her comprehension. Her fascination kept her moving deeper into the museum, further away from her classmates and the familiar exhibits they were touring. Soon, she found herself alone in an unmarked part of the Thyon wing. Suddenly, as if sensing her presence, the amulet began to glow. Emma's heart skipped a beat as she felt a soft warmth radiate from the crystal. The glow was faint at first, like a gentle pulse, but gradually it intensified, casting a dim, ethereal light onto the walls around her. She watched in awe as unfamiliar symbols and shapes began to form within the crystal's depths, shifting and dancing as if responding to her presence. Emma could only stare, captivated by the display. Just then, she felt a gentle hand on her shoulder. Startled, she turned to see an alien woman with pale blue skin and delicate silver tattoos adorning her face. She was dressed in flowing robes that shimmered with a soft, silvery light, blending almost seamlessly with the amulet's glow. The alien's eyes were kind, and she smiled warmly at Emma as if recognizing something in her. "You are holding something precious," the alien woman said softly, her voice gentle but filled with gravity. "Few have ever been given such a gift. It is a mark of trust, a symbol of knowledge, and a doorway." Emma felt a strange sense of calm wash over her. What does it mean?" she stammered, holding up the amulet. "Drar gave it to me, but I don't know what it's for." The alien woman inclined her head slightly, her eyes shimmering with a deep, ancient wisdom. "Drar is a keeper, a guardian of the Thyon legacy. By saving his life, you proved yourself to be worthy of a responsibility we rarely grant to those outside our own people." She gestured to the amulet, her gaze never leaving Emma's. "This is the Arel stone. It holds the knowledge and history of the Thyon people, passed down for generations. Only those with pure intentions can unlock its secrets." Emma's fingers tightened around the amulet, her mind racing. "What kind of knowledge does it hold?" she asked, her voice a mix of awe and curiosity. The alien woman's expression softened. "The Arel stone holds more than information. It holds the key to understanding the universe. For centuries, the Thyon have explored worlds and gathered wisdom from across the stars. They documented everything they learned, storing it within the stone. Its knowledge spans dimensions, mysteries of life and death, healing, and even the art of navigating between galaxies. It is our greatest treasure." Emma's heart raced as she processed this revelation. She felt a strange, almost surreal sense of importance settle over her. The weight of the amulet in her hand suddenly seemed much heavier. The alien woman noticed Emma's expression and smiled gently. "Do not be afraid," she said. "The stone chooses its bearers carefully. By saving Drar, you have shown courage and compassion, qualities that are rare, even in our galaxy." "But I'm just a girl from Earth," Emma replied, her voice wavering. "I don't know anything about alien worlds or ancient wisdom. How can I be worthy of something like this?" The alien woman placed a comforting hand over Emma's. "The stone does not demand knowledge. It seeks purity of heart. It will guide you, help you to understand. You only need to listen." Emma swallowed, feeling a strange mixture of excitement and fear. She looked down at the amulet again, watching as the symbols inside continued to shift and swirl, almost as if they were trying to communicate with her. She took a deep breath, her fingers tracing the patterns on the crystal surface. "Is there a way to learn from it?" she asked quietly, looking up at the alien woman. The woman nodded. "The stone will reveal its secrets slowly. As you hold it, it will impart knowledge to you piece by piece. But it is not just a passive object. It responds to intention. When you are ready to learn, hold it close and focus your mind. It will reveal to you what you seek. Emma's mind buzzed with possibilities. She thought about all the questions she had about the universe, about alien life, and the mysteries of space. And now, she held an artifact that could answer those questions. A tool that held the accumulated wisdom of an entire civilization. The alien woman gave her a gentle smile, sensing Emma's thoughts. Remember, she said softly, knowledge is a gift, but it is also a responsibility. The Arel stone chose you because it believes you will use its wisdom wisely. Trust in yourself. Emma felt a surge of determination. She looked at the alien woman, nodding with newfound resolve. Thank you, she said, her voice steady. I won't let this responsibility go to waste. The alien woman inclined her head, a hint of pride in her eyes. I believe you won't. With that, she turned and began to walk away, her figure blending into the shadows of the Thon wing. Emma stood there for a moment. The amulet warmed in her hand. She could feel a pulse, a faint heartbeat that seemed to sync with her own, as if the stone was alive and aware of her presence. Taking a deep breath, she held the amulet up to her chest, closing her eyes and focusing her thoughts. Almost immediately, a sensation washed over her, a wave of warmth and light that filled her mind. She felt a gentle tug, as if being pulled through a veil. Images began to form behind her closed eyes, visions of distant worlds, swirling galaxies, and ancient symbols that glowed with a soft silver light. She saw fragments of alien landscapes, vast fields of crystal, towering trees with leaves that shimmered in hues she couldn't name, and rivers that flowed with light instead of water. Each image came with a faint whisper, a voice that seemed to echo in her mind, speaking in a language she didn't understand but somehow felt familiar. And Emma felt herself drawn deeper into the vision. The images shifted, showing her scenes of Thyan healers tending to wounded beings of various species. She watched as they used strange tools and whispered chants to heal injuries, channeling energy from their surroundings to mend wounds and soothe pain. The sight was mesmerizing, and Emma felt a deep sense of peace as she watched them work, their movements fluid and graceful, almost like a dance. As the vision continued, she saw glimpses of Thyan explorers, their ships gliding through the vastness of space, navigating through stars and nebulae with ease. She felt a thrill as she watched them venture into unknown territories, their curiosity and bravery a mirror of her own. The amulet seemed to be showing her the heart of the Thyan people, their spirit of exploration, their compassion, and their dedication to knowledge. Gradually, the images faded, and Emma opened her eyes, feeling a sense of calm and awe. She looked down at the amulet, its glow dimming but still warm in her hand. She felt as though she had just glimpsed a fraction of the universe's mysteries, and yet she knew there was so much more to learn. Taking a deep breath, Emma felt a newfound sense of purpose. She had been given a rare gift, a responsibility that went beyond anything she could have imagined. The amulet had chosen her, and now it was up to her to honor its trust. She knew her life would never be the same, and though the path ahead was uncertain, she felt ready to face it. As she turned to leave the Thon wing, Emma felt a sense of anticipation building within her, a quiet excitement that whispered of adventures yet to come, of knowledge waiting to be uncovered, and of a journey that was only just beginning. The hours passed in a blur as Emma wandered the museum, her mind captivated by the visions she'd seen through the Arel stone. The Thyan amulet still rested in her hand, its surface now cool but still faintly pulsing, as if it were alive, responding to her heartbeat. Her mind was flooded with fragments of knowledge, images of alien landscapes, healers, explorers, and symbols she couldn't quite decipher but somehow felt connected to. The gentle chime of an announcement echoed through the museum, signaling that the school tour would soon end. But as Emma turned to find her way back to her group, she noticed a small gathering of museum officials and Thyan council members moving toward her. Among them was Drar, the elderly Thon she had saved, now standing strong and stable with the help of a silver-topped cane. His eyes met hers, and he inclined his head in greeting. Emma, he said warmly, his voice filled with respect. I am grateful to see you again, and I trust the amulet has begun to reveal its purpose to you. Emma nodded, her heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and nervousness. Yes, I think so. It showed me things, visions of the Thyan people, of your healers and explorers. I don't understand everything, but it felt familiar in a way. Drar's face softened, and he gestured for her to follow him. Come with us, he said, his voice inviting but firm. There is much we must discuss, and your journey is only beginning. Emma glanced around, hesitating as she thought of her classmates and the teachers who would soon be looking for her. But something deeper compelled her forward, the call of the amulet, the pull of something greater than herself. She took a deep breath, nodded, and followed Drar and the council members elders into a secluded chamber hidden behind the main hall. The chamber was unlike any part of the museum she had seen. It was dimly lit, with walls adorned in intricate Thyan patterns glowing with a soft, pulsating light that seemed to respond to their presence. The air felt thick with energy, an ancient weight that settled over her, making her feel as though she were standing on the threshold of something profound. Drar gestured for her to sit on a low-cushioned bench across from him, while the other Thyan elders arranged themselves in a semicircle around them. Once they were settled, Drar looked at her with a gaze that seemed to peer into her soul. "You have been chosen by the Arel stone, Emma," he began solemnly. "It is not by mere chance that you hold it now. The stone has judged your heart and found it worthy. Such a gift has not been bestowed upon an outsider in many centuries." Emma swallowed, feeling the weight of his words. "But why me?" she asked, her voice barely more than a whisper. "I'm just a normal girl. I don't know anything about your people or your knowledge." One of the council members, a Thyan woman with silver-flecked skin and deep, wise eyes, spoke up, her voice soft yet filled with conviction. "The Arel stone seeks not knowledge, but purity of intent. In saving Drar, you acted selflessly, without hesitation or expectation of reward. This is the mark of a true guardian." Drar nodded, his eyes warm. "The Thyan have long valued knowledge, but we understand that wisdom is a far greater gift. The stone has sensed this quality within you, Emma. It has chosen you to be the bridge between our people and yours, a keeper of our shared knowledge." Emma felt a surge of emotion, pride, excitement, but also a tinge of fear. "A bridge between our worlds," she echoed. "What does that mean? What am I supposed to do?" Drar smiled, a gentle, reassuring expression. "Your path will be revealed to you in time, Emma. The stone will guide you, showing you pieces of our knowledge and helping you understand them. For now, you must simply be willing to learn, to open yourself to the wisdom it offers." He held out his hand, and Emma instinctively placed the amulet in his palm. Drar closed his eyes, murmuring a soft chant in a language Emma didn't understand. The amulet began to glow, casting a soft silver light that filled the room. Slowly, he placed the amulet back in her hands, and she felt a warm pulse spread through her, filling her with a calm, serene energy. "This amulet will serve as your guide," Drar explained. "Whenever you seek answers or guidance, hold it close, and it will show you the path. But remember, knowledge is a gift that must be used with caution and responsibility. The power it holds is not meant to be wielded carelessly." Emma nodded, absorbing his words. She felt a sense of duty settle over her, a weight that was both daunting and exhilarating. She understood now that this was more than just a gift. It was a responsibility, a calling. After a pause, Drar leaned forward, his gaze intent. "There is one final thing you must know, Emma. The knowledge within the Arel stone is not solely for you. It is meant to be shared, to bring understanding and unity between our worlds. You will be our envoy, a messenger of our wisdom to your people." Emma's heart raced. She felt the enormity of the task pressing down on her, the realization that she held the key to bridging two vastly different worlds. But she also felt a fierce determination rise within her, a resolve to honor the trust the Thyan had placed in her. "I understand," she said, her voice steady. "I'll do my best to be worthy of this responsibility." Drar nodded, a look of deep satisfaction on his face. "You already are, Emma. Trust in yourself, and remember that you are never alone. The knowledge of the Thyan is with you, and we will always be here to guide you if you need it." As the meeting came to an end, Emma felt a sense of peace settle over her. She knew that her life would never be the same, but she was ready to embrace the unknown, to step into a future filled with mystery and possibility. When she returned to her classmates, she felt like a different person, as if she had been touched by something beyond her understanding. The Arel stone rested against her chest, warm and reassuring, a reminder of the path she had chosen. She looked around at the museum, at the artifacts and displays that had once seemed so distant and foreign, and she felt a connection to it all, a sense of belonging she had never known. As they boarded the shuttle back to Earth, Emma gazed out the window, her mind already racing with questions and ideas. She knew she had a journey ahead of her, one that would lead her to new worlds and new knowledge, and she was ready to face it head-on. In the days that followed, Emma began to explore the knowledge within the Arel stone, holding it close each night, letting its wisdom flow into her. She learned about Thyan healing techniques, about their philosophies on life and death, and about their incredible ability to navigate the stars. Slowly, she began to understand the universe in a way she never had before, seeing connections and patterns that had once eluded her. And as she delved deeper into the stone's knowledge, she felt a transformation taking place within her. She was no longer just a curious girl from Earth. She was a guardian of knowledge, a bridge between worlds, and a beacon of understanding in a galaxy filled with mysteries. The world around her remained the same, but Emma Emma knew that she had been forever changed. She felt a profound sense of purpose, a calling to share what she had learned, to bring the wisdom of the Thaian into humanity, and to help forge a path of unity and peace between their worlds. And so, with the Arel stone as her guide, Emma embarked on a journey that would take her to the farthest reaches of the galaxy, a journey that would reveal the true power of knowledge and the boundless potential of the human spirit.